Jesus says this, when it's unrighteous anger, when it's something that consumes you, that it moves you in an unholy, unrighteous ways, that kind of anger is not okay. Well, I want to give you an idea of what that looked like. So turn to Genesis chapter 4. The first killing in the Bible was a brother killing a brother. A murder that happened within the family. In Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, we find the story of Cain and Abel. It says, Adam lay with his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. And she said, with the help of the Lord, I brought forth a man. Later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. But Abel brought the fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Now look at your outline. Take a look at your bulletin. Your bulletin outline. It says this. The next verses say this. God says, why are you so angry? The Lord asked Cain. Why do you look so dejected? Now I want you to notice this. Cain offers this gift to the Lord. Abel offers his gift to the Lord. And then in Hebrews 11 it tells us that Abel offered his gift in faith. Okay, his life was offered in faith. And so God received Abel's offering, but Cain's he didn't receive. Okay? He didn't receive it. And Cain got mad about it. And he got angry with God. And then he started looking at his brother, and he started getting angry with his brother. Now I want you to notice this. He says this. God says, why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you do what is right. But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you. But you must subdue it and be its master. Now I want you to notice how unrighteous anger works. It starts in your head. It's conceived. It starts there. You know what, God? You didn't accept my offering. I'm upset with you. And then it says it gives birth. Well, now I'm upset with my brother. I'm ticked at him for what he did. And God says, if you would have done what it was right, then I would have accepted you. But watch out, sin is crouching at your door. How many of you ever stood behind a door and when somebody walked past it, you jumped out and said, boo? Anybody do that? How many of you do that for fun with your spouse? Yeah, my wife loves to do that to me. It drives me crazy. My son has now taken on that role. Crouching at the door, waiting for you to go by, they jump out and yell, boo. Well, the Bible says that sin is crouching behind the door of your life. And when you become angry or upset with something and you fester it on and you continue to dwell on it, sin is looking for an opportunity to jump all over you and for you to become even more angry. And then it says this, I want you to notice this verse in James. It says, each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, remember that, it starts in your head. Then it gives birth. Now you start thinking about it, you start dwelling on it, and you become even more angry about it, and you give birth to it. And sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Right? It brings forth nothing but problems when you let your anger get out of control. Some of you might be dealing with somebody who's had an anger problem. You know, I would say, ladies, look up here. If you're single, look up here for a second. If you meet some guy and they have anger issues, I like to say run, right? Don't think you're going to change him. He needs some help. Okay? If you're somebody who has anger issues, anger problems, get help. Ask for help. God can forgive if we seek forgiveness, right? So we get help. Now I want you to notice this. How else does this relate to our family besides becoming angry? Well, God says no to this, premeditative murder. You might want to write that down. God says no to premeditative murder. Let's pick up the story of Cain and Abel. Cain talked with his brother Abel, and it came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. Now I want you to get this. He became angry. Sin was crouching at his door. He let it bother him so much, and it bothered him so much that God refused him, and that Abel was looked on more favorably than him, that he said to his brother next, "Hey, let's go for a walk." And they go out for a walk, and they're out in the field, and the Bible says that he rose up, that Cain rose up against Abel and killed him. The first murder in the Bible, brother on brother crime, he killed him. The Bible says that Cain allowed this anger to build up inside of him, when all he had to do, God said, is do the right thing. Do the right thing and you will be accepted. You know, Jesus says when we birth forth sin in our mind, our next step, if we don't learn to handle it and get control of it or master it, is to carry it out. Now, some of you, when you get upset, some of you like to explode on people, right? How many of you guys are exploders? How many of you guys